Hey, this is Jim at Broadfield Distributing. Thanks for joining us for another Broadfield Liquid Lunch and Learn every Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. This is our second to last show of the year, and we have a great show for you today. You'll see in the corner, I am being joined by Jim McKenna from Facilis. Hey, Jim, how are you?
Great, Jim. How you doing?
Excellent, excellent. Thank you. Before we get into the formal introductions and into our show topics today, this is Broadfield Liquid Lunch. Every Thursday, we like to crack open a nice cold brew, especially now we get the holiday season started. Um, this is an IPA out of Connecticut, which is a collaboration between Fat Orange Cat and Abomination Brewery. This is 12 Lives and Still Wandering. Now, Still Wandering, I've had on the show before, is one of my favorite IPAs. So anytime we can pull a collaboration like this together, sounds like a pretty good mix to me. Jim, we're going to give our dealers just a moment to join us. Once everyone is logged in and tuned in, we'll introduce the show. We'll go over everything. But as we're waiting for them, I want to tell you how excited we are at Broadfield to have added Facilis to our product line. And I'm really excited to share some of this information with our dealers today. We've got, excellent. We've only got about 7 seconds left. I think we can go live now. Thank you for joining us for Broadfield Liquid Lunch and Learn every Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Today, we are being joined by Jim McKenna from Facilis to talk about the Facilis Hub, media management solutions, and shared storage solutions. Jim, thank you for joining us.
Great to be here, Jim. And I love your choice of IPA.
Thank you very much. Jim, do me a favor. Take a moment to introduce yourself and Facilis to our dealer audience.
Sure. I'm Jim McKenna, one of the original, I guess you could say, founders of the company back from 2003, 2004 when we started. And I do the marketing here. Basically, I'm in charge of, marketing, sales of the products, the direction of the marketing and the sales programs. Of course, helped out by many people at the company, most notably Shane Rodburn and Kelly Toronto, who if you start working with us, you'll get to know very well. I'm here to talk about our products and our software and hopefully get some people interested in making some sales this year.
Really excited about that. I know we launched our relationship with you just in time for the NAB New York show. We introduced a few of our tri-state area dealers to you there at the show. And we're really looking forward to expanding our business together and really focusing on the new year to create some of these new opportunities that our dealers can not only add Facilis to their product offerings, but see everything that you guys have to offer to make this a successful partnership going forward in the future. So, Jim, thank you for introducing yourself. Tell us a little bit more about Facilis and about the solutions for our dealers.
Great, I'll do that. Well, we started back in 2003, so we've been doing this for 20 years now. And of the last 20 years, it's been a pretty consistent growth, not just of our sales across the world, but also of our technology. And the technology of the system has just grown by leaps and bounds in the past 3 to 5 years. And we're seeing that there's so many more people who are taking advantage of not only just our shared storage systems, but of course our asset management software, our cloud and LTO archive integration, and many more things that I'll be talking about.
And I think that's one of the things that makes Facilis a workflow solution is it is the combination of the hardware, the software, and all of those tools you need to really create that workgroup environment for all your media and storage needs. So, Jim, why don't we go into the presentation and talk a
Sure.
little bit more about Facilis?
Great. Well, as I've already said, 20 years and going now with the company and the company in general being in business for that long. And we're just a little bit about us. We're a self-funded company. We don't have any capital influx. We are 3 owners, myself, Shane Rodburn, and Joe Lowe, representing marketing, operations, and development. And we're all industry veterans in our own way, but mostly in the video and post-production editorial process. I was with Avid for many years with the Avid Unity development team and product management, as was Shane for many years and executive level. So we know a whole lot about how our customers work and what they do. We're a turnkey environment from a single company, all hardware and software from us. You can buy cards and switches and cables right from the same source. And so we like to control that the groupings of hardware and software that we sell for support purposes, for ease of use for our resellers. We do single line item servers that don't require a whole lot of work. Can teach you very easily how to order the systems and be very successful without making any mistakes on the orders. So we sell simplicity and ease of use in our systems as well as in our operations and order management. And our differentiation is that simplicity and of course performance as well. For our reseller community, we offer, of course, pricing, configuration, workflows, customer-focused demos. Most important thing is to get us in front of the customers. We speak the language. We know what they're talking about. They know that we've been in the business for a long time, thousands of systems sold, seen just about everything. Our support and warranty renewals are very important to us. We have a lot of loyal customers, thousands of customers that are currently on support and warranty. And that's a good reason every year for our resellers to go in and talk to those customers and see if their needs have changed, if their requirements have changed, and give them the opportunity to talk about how their workflow is different than it may have been when the server was first purchased. And of course, offer the expansions that we offer with all of our systems that can make it very scalable over the course of many years that our customers will own the systems. We have reseller tools, white papers, resources on the website, tech training, sales training, on demand. Anytime you call us up and say, hey, let's get a refresher on the new products, get a couple people online, we'll do it for you at a drop of a hat. We have deal registration. We're going to protect your investment in your relationships. We're going to protect your deals and be sure that you get the most benefit and the most margin possible from those deals. And of course, we have incentives as well. We have our rebate plan, which I guess can be called a spiff. It is a rebate upon payment. And we're sending checks out all the time to salespeople and to tech people. You can choose to split it up between sales and tech when the order is registered. So where we win, if you talk about sort of the high level of where Facilis does well, we do very well in collaborative Avid environments, especially now with the flux that's happening in Avid company and the products. We're finding that a lot of folks are coming to us for the next generation of shared storage for their Avid workflows, especially since many of them are moving to the Adobe and the Resolve workflows, which of course we're very experienced with as well. Have a lot of experience there, have a lot of functionality, of course, with the full collaboration suite within Avid. We're high bitrate 4K and 8K. No one does it better than us. No one has faster servers, especially in the solid state and flash realm, that can get data out to the client's workstations in the fastest way, most efficient way possible. And I'll show you that in a minute. Owner-operator shops love us because we are a simple system to maintain. We're a simple system to install. We have a lot of functionality behind the scenes that you can access at any time through administration, but we can get set up and be running in a couple of hours, and everyone can be start working. So dropping ship or drop shipping servers to customer locations, pretty common for us with our ability to remotely help through our support department to deploy that system. Remote workflows through our WAN link have become, of course, very popular over the past few years. When cloud doesn't work for certain workflows, and there are a few of those that's true, and when cloud gets very expensive, our remote workflows utilizing your own storage system as a private cloud through our WAN link product is very important. And of course, we still support fiber channel. We are a shared file system based server, so we don't utilize NAS or SMB or CIF shares. We're a shared file system. It is customized to the way our customers work and the way that the applications work on shared storage. And because of that, we have a lot of features that you just don't get with network attached storage. One of them is our smart access rules. And smart access rules is a folder and file level access. Pretty simply, I mean, you can lock down certain parts of the file system for certain users to read, write, no access, no delete. but you can also do things like remove, delete access for an actual file type, MXFs or MP4s, project files. But even though you're removing delete in the project file, you can still overwrite it. You can still save that project file, which is extremely unique in the world of sort of access control lists that are very stringent and very difficult to work with. So we can set auditing, we can set undelete or recycle bin. We can allow for create only with no read, very secure ingest locations on the server. And these things are all helping our customers get through the TPN audits and get through the MPAA questionnaires that come out, because they know that this system is extremely secure. The file systems can be secured down to, of course, permissions. We can work in with their Active Directory and LDAP system to permission the file systems and the volumes. Our WAN link is another very unique part of the product. WAN link is giving access to the server from external locations outside the facility without the need for a VPN. And VPNs, of course, can cause issues with speed and latency. And with WAN link, you're targeting the server directly. And when you target the server directly, you're not going through that VPN tunnel. We can do this because of our shared file system. And our shared file system is built around fewer transactions and faster speeds across both local area and wide area networks. So our ability to be 2 or 3 times faster than a VPN over the same internet connection gives us the ability to do easily 25, 50 megabit proxies on a remote workstation using the storage that you already have in your facility, and securely with AES socket encryption, authorization, and of course, client user accounts and passwords. Fast Tracker is a big part of the product, has been for the past few years. It's been developed now for several years. Too many features to talk about, but it's becoming a fully fledged and mature asset management system that includes now, with our latest 3.8 version, our Google AI auto tagging that shows up as markers, timecode based markers on the records. Our integrated Adobe panel is helping a lot of our premier customers with auto attaching proxies for workflows for both high res and low res toggling on the timeline. It has full cloud and LTO integration. So everything that we're doing for LTO backup and archive and cloud backup and archive, we can easily push and restore from the asset management interface. And it's, once again, very simple for people to use. This is not the type of asset management system that sort of puts up roadblocks and makes you do certain things in order to get the full functionality. It'll sit in the background and just keep track of what the users are doing. If they already have a workflow that works for them, we're going to sit in the background and just make sure it keeps working for them. Our Object Cloud, Object LTO, this is the backup and archive portion for the product. It's based on Zendata. And if you know Zendata has been doing LTO and now cloud backup and archive for a long time. They use a cache volume. And the cache volume is like any other volume that you create for a project on our shared storage system, except it is involved with the caching of LTO and cloud data. And because of that, it looks like another volume. It looks like any other hard drive on your system, except it's flushed and stubbed down to taking up no space. It just represents everything you have on LTO and cloud. So you can grab a file or a folder and just drag it onto a work volume to restore it. You can drag something right to the cache volume to save it out to LTO or upload to cloud. And of course, Fast Tracker has the full capability here as well of being able to restore and push and give you notifications of whether that file is offline or needs to be prefetched back down. Everything is fully integrated, and it really is the most simple way to integrate cloud and LTO into a shared storage environment, because there's no separate interface to learn. You drag it in, it goes. You drag it back, it restores. We do resale through Wasabi, and we offer Wasabi storage as part of this product. We do that because we know that we don't get egress cost with Wasabi. We also support Live Cloud. We also support Backblaze, Azure, and AWS. So many of our customers have these cloud accounts already, and they can keep using them and just integrate that with their shared storage with Facilis. Getting into sort of what we sell at the end of the day with all this software, we are a software company, which is why I talk so much about software features, especially in the storage realm itself. I mean, our core technology is our shared file system and our servers, the virtualization of the drive set, the I/O patterns that we're constantly tracking for reads and writes in our prioritization of bandwidth. These are all the things that we do really well. We wrap it in a hardware environment that makes sense for support, for cost of goods, and for sustainability. As we keep on building these servers month after month, year after year, we want to be sure that we don't have too much flux in that hardware, and we can be sure that whatever we're selling can be supported easily, and our support people already know what you have before you tell them. So the Hub 8 is the first entry-level server that we have. Starts at 32 terabytes and goes to, I think, 184 terabytes, 176, I'm not sure, using 22 terabyte drives. For a work group of 3 to 5 users, perfect. And we have a lot of those out there, those owner-operator shops that love our system because of the simplicity. They love the idea that they can put this thing in a 2U rack unit, have all the same features as our very large servers, and don't have to worry about too much maintenance or having to have a degree in IT or computer science to be able to run it. So 3 to 5 compressed 4K editors, not a problem. This does benchmark at over a gigabyte per second. But of course, our stream count is going to be much more conservative because we want our customers for it to always work for them, regardless of whether the chaos may be happening in the facility. Our Hub 16 and Hub 24 are 4U enclosures, and the 4U enclosures can go up to 528 terabytes in capacity and start it down at 64 terabytes in capacity. So a large swing of capacities and some very high density that we can achieve in just a 4U enclosure. And that's good for that sort of 6 to 10 users on compressed 4K. And with this many drives, 16 or 24 drives, with a fast connection, you can go well up over into DPX and EXR file sequence workflows as well, at 2 to 3 gigabytes per second on a benchmark there. With the Hub 32 and Hub 48, now you're talking about multiple enclosures. The enclosures can contain up to 528 terabytes each, so that's over a petabyte of storage in that 8U total enclosure size. And then, of course, that many more users can be using it at the same time, or you can start to add some very high bitrate users, which I'll show you in a moment, sort of how we get those high bitrate users attached and how efficient they can be on the storage. And that brings me to the FlashPoint. Very popular model this year, our FlashPoint 24 and 48S. This is a 4U enclosure with vertical flash 48 SSDs. The 48S is good for up to 12 gigabytes per second of streaming bandwidth out to shared file system clients. These are workstations that are connected over different formats of Ethernet and fiber channel and can get that 10 to 12 gigabytes per second out of the server. And of course, with that, you have that many more users that can be attached, or you can attach several users that are doing extremely high bit rate, like 8K, UHD2, 4K DCI at 60p. These types of scenarios are possible for us because we have the shared file system, and the shared file system is helping our customers' workstations communicate more efficiently with the server, not over a NAS connection, more like a SAN connection, but still available over even Wi-Fi or 1 gig Ethernet, scalable out to whatever topology you want to apply. Just as an example of sort of what we see on sort of a Mac desktop. Different tests will show you different things, of course, and this is a good example of why you can't trust every test out there. But we get over 4 gigabytes a second to a Mac Pro with a 50 gig or 100 gig Ethernet card, direct connection over a direct cable or through fiber MPO or LC multimode. And the fastest speed we get and the best performance we see is when I'm actually in, say, a Resolve application and I hit play on a 60p DCI 4K timeline, and I see that go up to over 4 gigabytes per second. So in the applications themselves is actually where we're seeing this speed, not just on benchmarks. So that's very interesting for a lot of people who are only be able to use direct attached storage right now because of the speeds that they need for these workflows. And when we get into the server itself and we test out, the speeds that the server can generate, this is all the way from our 8 drive system all the way up through our FlashPoint system. we go onto the server and we measure the test, but we're providing all of this load on client workstations themselves. So we're not doing benchmark tests in the server and then sort of interpolating them out to stream counts and clients. We're showing this as clients hitting load on the server and doing it in a very pragmatic way, the way that clients would be doing it in their environment. So you can be sure that when we give you a benchmark, that when we give you a stream count, we're going to stand behind it and guarantee it because we can see it happening right in our labs. So that's all I had for slides. I do want to talk some more about the things that we do that are particularly important. But Facilis has shown year in, year out to be on the edge when it comes to development and innovation, both in our storage mechanisms like our shared file system, our drive set virtualization, the ability for us to scale up very easily from a small system to a very large system, and of course, more recently with our cloud and LTO and our fast tracker asset management system, really rounding out the feature set and giving our customers a lot of value, for their dollar, which we believe, we're very competitively priced as well, especially when you look at our solid state flash systems. The amount of value that you get there, speed and capacity, overwhelms, I think, anything else on the market today. So back to you, Jim. Is there any questions that you or anyone else there would like to ask?
Well, Jim, first of all, I have to say thank you so much. I really appreciate the way you crafted the presentation because a lot of times our dealers will think of a shared storage solution by looking at the storage volumes first and then moving to the software, the asset management, and then worry about the support and the warranty. The beauty of Facilis is you are really integrating all three of these aspects together. And even in building your presentation and talking about the support and the warranty and the services first, really shows the difference of how Facilis is bringing these things to market. Can you tell us a little bit about the support plans and how they work and how they get transacted through the dealer channel?
Sure. Our support is very simple. We don't work off of a sort of percentage of the overall deal or anything like that that can change over time. When we have a server model, whether it be an 8, 16, 24, or 48 system, we have a applied support cost that matches that model. Normally, it's below 10%. It can go sort of from 8 to 11% of the cost of just the server itself. And so it tends to be a pretty good value for people. It has all full support and hardware warranty. So we don't shy away from talking about warranty cost. We'll tell you right up front what your warranty cost is because that's the model that you own, and what your cost is going to be 5 years from now because that's the model that you own. And we're going to stick to that. We're going to make sure that doesn't change. And we'll give you discounts, of course, if you want it at the point of sale. Put 5 years of warranty and software support on the system, we'll offer discounts to do that. But our low-end support cost is only $2,000 per year on a per server basis, and that is across the board. It's $1,990 per year, and that's whether you own a 64 terabyte system or a 528 terabyte system. You'll pay that same amount. And that's all that's required to keep Fast Tracker working. We do say that you do need to have a support contract to keep up with Fast Tracker, and that's really the only thing. Otherwise, the server never stops working if you run out of support. And we also don't have any retroactive fees on a support contract at all. We don't have re-sign fees or reinstatement fees. If you lapse for a year and you come back after that year and you start up again, it starts that day and goes one year term after that day. Customers like that a lot because I know a lot of our resellers have had situations in the past where they've had to go and fight with manufacturers back and forth with customers who weren't aware of a policy or inherited a system that's been out of support for 2 or 3 years. And it's never a good situation. So we don't have any of those. We're an engineering driven company from the very beginning, and engineers don't like that kind of stuff. So we try and keep it simple and keep it affordable.
That's excellent. And I know you mentioned that we could attach a support plan for up to 5 years with the initial purchase. For the customer that just wants to purchase their initial year, and then when that renewal comes due, is there any kind of a recurring revenue model available for the dealer channel?
Certainly. Well, the first year is included, so there's no
Okay.
opportunity to apply a cost for the first year on any of
Okay.
that up to full total care coverage. For year two, we send all that to the dealers and through Broadfield as a distributor. So everyone gets a piece of margin on the support and warranty renewals that happen. This is very important because we believe it's important for the resellers to go out and talk to those customers once a year about their requirements, what's changed, how many more clients have you added, might need an upgraded switch, you might need some services, you might need to hear about the new software features, you might need an expansion. So all these things are important, and we want to incentivize our resellers to go out there and talk to those customers and get those support and warranty renewals, and we do that by offering margin for that.
And that's music to my ears. And even when you introduced the deal registration program before, I love that you mentioned that you have that program in place for our dealers to protect the relationships they have with their customers. A
Exactly.
recurring revenue plan on the support contract, working as partners together to make sure the customer gets the support and the warranty they need from Facilis, but still maintain that daily contact with the dealer, I think makes a successful model for everybody along the way. And I know Glenn wanted me to point out that that's being done on the hardware point of view as well. Your the Facilis Hub can be scaled up to continue to meet the customer's needs as their storage needs grow over time as well, right, Jim?
That's true. We have people that start with a 64 or 96 terabyte system and end up with half a petabyte of storage simply by adding additional expansions. Now, when we add expansions, it's more of a capacity play after maybe the first expansion. Once you get into 3 and 4 expansions, it's more of a capacity play than a bandwidth play. To add a second server and is really where the bandwidth increase comes in because you have a whole second info environment that you can access. And of course, we do things like spanning across servers and things like that for load balancing. We can configure networks in multiple different ways because we have a 64 gig fiber channel backbone for some of the networks that we sell. But the scalability is really unlimited because we can have up to 4 drive groups per head unit, which could be up to really 2 petabytes when it comes to the highest density we're selling. And there's no limit of the amount of servers that we can have in the network, all managed within the same interface. That same administrative interface, that server group, all the users and permissions and metadata is all shared between those servers. So it's limitless, the amount of capacity you can add to a Facilis network.
And that brings us to the next question that we always get every time we talk about any storage solution, whether it's an SD card for a camera or a shared storage solution like yours. What is the maximum storage volume?
Well, people like to think about single namespace, like to think about sort of like how can I pack everything into the same file system or the same folder. Back in versions past, we had up to a 256 terabyte volume size, which is a single volume that looks like a drive in your desktop. Now with 8.3, which is shipping this month, I think next week, we'll have the ability to go up to an 8 petabyte volume. And I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon, but I didn't think 256 would happen, 5 or 6 years ago either. So this is the world that we live in now, and now we're enabling that to happen through changing some cluster sizes on the file system. And if customers want to do that, they can. They can go up to at least 500 or a petabyte size volume. More applicable to workflows these days because of our smart access rules. We don't need to have separate volumes or workspaces in order to permission them separately on different projects. We can have individual folders permissioned separately, right down to the user account, right down to the type of files that it is, right down to a bunch of different metadata that we can add to the smart access rules to enable security in a large file system like that. So much larger than it used to be.
That's excellent. And then, so we talked about the support and the warranty. We talked about the storage volumes. The next question is for the software element in between. Can Fast Tracker be purchased outside of the storage servers?
Fast Tracker has become so compatible with the Zen data, as I mentioned, the sort of we license Zen data for use with our LTO and cloud backup and archive systems. It's been so made so compatible and interoperable with Zen data that you can purchase Fast Tracker with a Zen data archive system, and that's something that Zen data and Zen data's resellers are talking about. That's possible to do, but the one thing I'll say is that we don't sell Fast Tracker as a software-only device, as a software-only license, but we will sell something called a Fast Tracker Edge. And Fast Tracker Edge is a very affordable 2U server, looks kind of like a Hub 8, has a 16 terabyte internal cache, can attach to any LTO or to any cloud service, and act as your MAM and cloud and LTO caching device. And that's a very affordable option for people who are looking for some archive asset management, or maybe just some asset management in general for their facility. They want something light, something that's not going to cost a whole lot, doesn't need a whole lot of scripting, doesn't need a whole lot of configuration, can sit in the background, index their media, and give them a searchable database. And of course, when they apply it to archive and backup through those other methods, it becomes even more valuable. So we'll say that Fast Tracker is purchasable with a light hardware server, or software only if it's a Zendata archive system.
Okay, excellent. So those are all the questions that I show from the audience here. Was there anything that we missed along the way?
Well, I definitely want to say that Broadfield's been excellent to work with so far, and congrats, guys, for having such an awesome relationship with your resellers, and it shows right away that you really care about what you do, and we're happy to be in this relationship, and I think it'll work out very well for us for years to come.
I appreciate you noticing it, and I appreciate you saying that. It is something we take a lot of pride in, for sure. Our resellers are some of the smartest resellers in the business. They know the industry. They know what they need. And when we can bring them a product line like Facilis, it's an instant win all around. And I even loved in your initial introductions how you talked about your history and Shane's history with Avid. Our workflow sales engineer, Glenn Seaman, has a long and cherished history with Avid as well. And he is well trained on the Facilis solutions. He's well trained on the sales process between our dealers, your customers, Glenn and Logan, his resources, and the team at Facilis directly. We're pretty confident that we can help get you the storage solution that meets your customers' needs. We are working very closely together now. We're identifying a lot of new opportunities and a lot of spaces to kind of drive into in the new year. So if this is something that's interesting to you, let's get Jim McKenna on the phone and let's figure out how we could do a short little training session, maybe even dive a little bit deeper than we did on the webinar today. And we'd be happy to help set that up, because our goal is to make our dealers as successful as possible. Jim, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Jim. Take care. Happy holiday.
Happy holidays to you too. So tune in every Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. We will have another show scheduled for you next week and all through 2024. Until next week, cheers.
Broadfield Distributing is a value-added distributor of live production, streaming, video editing, and storage products. We only sell to resellers. We are always looking for new dealers, so call us at 1-800-634-5178 or email sales@broadfield.com. You'll like doing business with Broadfield because we make it easy to do business.